Welcome back to Vlog Filler. I am here with KC Jackson, the main attraction.
Boom.
KC, I say it all the time, man. I think you are one of the most professional guys in Central Illinois. One of the most professional guys I have come across in my 17 years of wrestling.
Thank you.
So today, I just want to talk about how'd you get into wrestling and why, what made you get into wrestling and what kept you in wrestling. You know.
My dad took me to a WWF show one time when I was like a couple years old.
Yeah.
He probably took me to my first live. He put me down in front of the TV when I was like 2 or 3.
Right.
But went to my first live show when I was like 5 or 6. It was in Decatur at the Civic Center.
Okay.
And it was like.
Was it WWF?
It was WWF.
Okay.
It was like best thing I ever saw. I was just like, what is this? And
do you remember who was on that card? Anybody? Or
no, but I do remember.
Jake the Snake not showing up?
No, I remember the Dingo Warrior.
That was like a thing. Oh, the Dingo Warrior
made his debut.
Oh, okay.
In Decatur.
Which was the Ultimate Warrior for everybody who doesn't know their history.
That's right. So I got to see that guy, and that, to be honest, is what made me like, okay, I want to see this, because growing up, the Ultimate Warrior was my favorite dude. I seen this big swole dude coming out with all that stuff on him, and just all crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is cool.
Yep.
So that made me want to continue watching wrestling. And then as I grew up, my brother and I would have the ultimate living room brawls. We'd sit there and do all the moves. We couldn't wait till mom and dad went to work.
Right.
And we'd have the house to ourselves and just, I mean, we did everything. We'd drape our blankets around like we had robes, and we did the whole 9 yards. So that kind of kept me into it, because I would act it out as a kid. And then, growing up, I always wanted to try it. But for one, my dad, he was a blue collar worker. He believed in the 9 to 5. So I was always scared to ask him to get me into it, because I knew, it'd be this. He would do anything for me. He probably would have researched it for me, but I would have had to go through like a 3-hour lecture first, and I didn't want to do that. So I just kind of chilled. Yeah. And I mean, growing up, man, watching all the. I remember when Survivor Series came on actual Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
That was when, I would always beg him to get the pay-per-views, and so we would get it and watch every pay-per-view, and it was a consistent thing.
Yeah.
So I watched it all the time.
Yep.
And like, I had the WWE Network before it was a thing. Like, I used to record. I wish I still had those tapes, but I used to record every single Nitro, every single Sunday Night Heat, every single Raw, every single pay-per-view. I had every single one on VHS.
You're dedicated when you're recording Sunday Night Heat.
Yeah, right, exactly. Exactly. Like, I had every Sunday Night Heat. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, I had mountains and mountains of VHS. My mom used to be like, what are you doing here? Yeah. Like, my thing, anytime I would go cut grass or get some kind of allowance or something, I ran out and bought like a 6 or 8 pack of VHS, because I had to record my WWF.
Yep.
And it wasn't just WWF. Like, I recorded WCW stuff too. I had every Nitro. I had all their pay-per-views. It kills me inside knowing I don't have that stuff no more.
Yeah.
Oh man, jeez.
That'd be pretty good. I had a pretty big collection of VHS that I threw out.
Yep. And then I started wanting to do wrestling, and it's funny because I actually, when WWF came to Decatur, the head shrinkers were walking out, and I just ran up. I was like 14 years old, and I ran up to Rikishi and was like, hey, how do you do this? And he's all like, oh, get a magazine, write to there's an address in the back, write to them, they'll get a hold to you, blah, blah, blah. And I still didn't do it, because then again, I was scared.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know. And then, he looked at me and Don, because Don was with me at the time, the Madman, and he looked at us, and he looked back and forth. He goes, "You two could be the next men on a mission." And I still didn't.
Yeah.
I had all the signs were there saying, "Do this, do this, do this," but I'm doing it now, so it's all good.
So how'd you get it? So when you finally make that leap? How'd you get into it?
I was it was 2003. I was watching. Actually, a couple days before Raw, I was like, man, I'm just gonna try. I'm not getting no younger. I'm gonna try wrestling. I I knew that Windy City Wrestling was running
Yeah.
in Chicago. So I was like, I'm going to call them and see what it takes to get in there. And it just so happened that that same weekend I was thinking about doing that. I was watching Raw, and a New Midwest commercial for the training school came up on the TV during Raw. And I said, there's a training school that close to me?
Yeah.
So then I jumped on that computer and started looking up New Midwest. And I followed New Midwest for a while. Like, I didn't go to any shows or nothing
Right.
like that, but I would sit there and read the website.
Yep.
And then I saw you on there, and I was just like, they got a black champion? And I was like, oh, man. I was like, so this might work. I was like, because they, you know, they welcome anybody. That's
Right.
that's what I had in my
Yeah.
head. Because,
No,
you know,
yeah.
I was thinking, you know, I just like, this is cool. So I end up going up there one day for a tryout, and the rest was history.
The rest is history.
Yep.
So what would you say, just to close us out, what would you say to anybody, you know, because I mean you talked about, you know, being afraid to ask your dad, being
Yep.
afraid to, you know, write the letter, you know, even just to write a letter.
Yep.
You know, so what would you say to anybody about chasing their dream, whether it's wrestling or anything? I mean, any dream.
Yeah. Just make that jump. You only live once. I hate that slogan or terminology or whatever you want to call it,
Yep.
but it's true. You know, don't second guess it. Just do it. The worst thing that can happen is, you know, there's no such thing as failing. You can try it,
Yep.
and if it doesn't work for you, then you can find something else.
Right.
But if you run into anybody that's successful, and what I mean by successful is just whatever they're doing, if they're rich, whatever. Anybody that's successful, the one thing they will tell you is the only difference between you and them is they took more no's than you.
Yep.
So if you get that one no, don't let that be the end of the world. Keep trying. You know, go to another school or go whatever it is you're trying to do. You know, keep climbing that mountain. Sooner or later, you're going to get that one yes, and that's going to change your life.
Yep.
So just do it.
And chances are you're going to find there are a lot less no's than you think there are.
Very, very true.
You know, like
Yep.
that's
Any successful person will tell you, if you ask them, you know, how, you know, what's the difference between me and you, they'll tell you there is no difference.
Right.
I took more no's than you did.
Yep.
That's it. So
Perfect.
just keep shooting for the moon, and if you miss, reach out and grab a star.
There you go. Casey, thank you, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Bringing some much needed substance to this vlog. And for everybody else out there, we will now return you to your regularly. I can't say it.
I know,
can't say it.
right?
We will now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. What's up, guys? As you watch this, it is the day of spectacle. I can't believe it's here already. Can't believe it's been 3 weeks. Okay. This series was designed, when I started it, I was feeling burned out. I was not excited for wrestling. I was not excited for the biggest show of the year. And that's why we've done all this, because I just wanted to get that fire back and rekindle that fire. And man, has it worked. I am so pumped for Grand Wrestling Spectacle tomorrow. You know what? And it might not even, chances are you're watching this way in the future. There's like a very minute window where today is actually the day of spectacle. I just wanted to thank you guys for coming along on this journey with me. It has been so much fun. I have had a blast getting out, seeing all the guys, bringing you guys with, getting back in the gym, and I feel great, man. I am so pumped for spectacle, which is what I needed to do, which is what I wanted to do. And you know what? We all have our passions, our hobbies, that thing that lights a fire in us, and inevitably, because we're human, it's gonna burn down, it's gonna get low. And I think sometimes we have the tendency to expect that passion and that fire, that thing, to keep itself burning. And you know, when we burn down and when we burn out, we get kind of discouraged. And sometimes it's hard to be like, sometimes it's hard to keep that fire going, because we put the responsibility on the fire to keep it kindled, to keep itself kindled. But it can't. Sometimes you gotta feed it. You gotta go out. You gotta chase it down, and you gotta keep those fires burning. So if I've learned anything in these last 3 weeks, it's that fire is always there, that passion is always there, and it is easy, not easy maybe, but it is always able to be rekindled when you put the logs back on the fire. When you start stacking it back up to get it burning again, it will burn for you. So I hope you guys have seen that through me, and whether it's coming to Grand Wrestling Spectacle tonight, whether it's doing your own thing, whether it's something that you haven't taken the chance and taken the leap to jump out and chase down, okay? I hope that you will take the initiative and kindle your fire and get it burning and get out there, make a mess, and just do it. Because when you do it, once you've got that fire burning inside, there's no feeling like it. And to get back to that place when you've been there, or to find that place when you've never been there, where you've got that fire burning in your chest, that thing that you love to do, that thing that you think about all the time, that thing that you makes you feel alive, makes you come alive. When you find your art, do it every day.